long-time viewers of the channel will know, on a Friday night going into Saturday, sometimes on Saturday daytime as well, we do like to take a quick moment to look at what happened in the past week with AMC, and I will make my personal key takeaways of what I have seen. And the reason why I say what I have seen is because it is my personal opinion, which I'm sharing with you, but I want to provide a little bit of an insight as to what I have seen in the past week based on my personal views. So we're going to be doing that right here. If you do enjoy this, make sure to smash that like button, of course, and do subscribe. Now, coming into the past week, we're going to have a look at the charts first. It's not going to be an in-depth technical analysis, but I do want to take a look at the key numbers that we have to highlight. So it's been a massive decline all the way through the week. You're going to be seeing that especially now on the past month chart. Yeah, we had that massive rise up, 45% in a day, and even some decent rises before that, but it didn't come without its cost, and I do believe this is done somewhat on purpose, and I do believe it has two main reasons. Now, the first of which is, of course, morale. If a lot of people bought in, let's say even around this period, just for the scenario's sake, a lot of people who bought in here, or here, let's say, of course, they would have bought their shares and seen massive rises. Now, from that point, they would have, of course, seen those rises been vaporized and maybe now coming to a neutral break-even point, or maybe even coming into the red. I believe that's what they're trying to do. Show us these relatively big profits and, of course, then run it down. Now, I think that doesn't really matter because when we think about the MOAS, those profits could be a lot higher. But I think in the short term, it definitely is something which they are trying because it definitely does tease a lot of people in the sense that people see those relatively large gains. Again, you guys will have seen large rises in your account. I know that for me, I did see quite a large figure when we rose from 20 to 30 only, and that's only a $10 difference. So after seeing figures that large with only $10, you guys get a bit of an idea as to why they are doing this. They probably want to make this play on our minds, get us thinking about it, and obviously try and persuade us to sell. That's what I personally believe. Now, I only believe that's one of the reasons. I think there is another reason, which is actually more practical for them. And for this, we need to go over to Stonko Tracker. Now, Stonko Tracker, we have over here the figures for the puts and the calls, so the options, and we're going to go to the most recent date, which is, of course, the 8th. Now, we're going to start off on the puts. Now, we're having about 49.6k in the money puts, and we're having about 53.6k out of the money puts. Now that's fair enough, we're still looking at more puts being out of the money than calls, but really it's almost 50-50, or at least the difference isn't really that big. Now coming over here to what we have for the calls, this data is ridiculous. We're looking at only 5.2k calls being in the money, and 239.7, almost even 0.8k being out of the money. And that is really where the main problem comes in, if you ask me. We've seen this in so many different scenarios over so many weeks. People keep talking about options being rigged, and from what I have seen, I do believe that to be the case. But then we come to a scenario where we ask this question. If we all believe that options are rigged, why are there so many options for a start, and why are so many out of the money? It just doesn't make sense to buy these ridiculous options when, of course, we've seen in the past many times options have lost people significant figures, especially for people who are, of course, low on money in the first place. It doesn't really make sense, in my opinion, to gamble with those extreme risk options. Now, if you want to play options, that's completely up to you. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I just think when we look at these figures, it just doesn't make sense anymore, because we've seen so many times in the past, like I mentioned, options figures being just completely annihilated, and many of these expiring worthless. So I think for most people, they should reevaluate before they consider really buying options and talk about to themselves whether this is a sensible thing to do. Now, you guys make your minds up on what you want to do, of course, because I am not an advisor, but I just think after what we've seen week after week, month after month, we have to wonder why put that money into options when personally I would put it into shares. It's obviously a lot more certain, and of course, it does carry a little bit less risk, but realistically, even though it can be manipulated, it won't be manipulated in the same way. Again, options, as I have seen many times in the past, has been a big area where people lose a lot of money, and that money is lost. Now, a lot of people talk about losses on their shares, and that's one thing, but realistically, those losses are only realized when they are realized. It really is as simple as that. When you sell your shares, you make/lose money. Not when you hold them. Until that money is certain, definite, and realized, that is when you can start speaking about it like it is something which currently exists. And that is why I think shares are the safer option. But yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to cover for this week. Now, the second one is coming from the Reddit user RoboSwag87. So it says, this is the buy orders versus sell for Fidelity today. Now, this was posted 18 hours ago, so we're looking at yesterday. Now, it says AMC finished the day in the top 10 most bought stocks on the day through Fidelity with a positive buy order to sell order ratio of 69 to 31. Apes aren't going anywhere. Hedges are shaking anyone that they can, and the end is getting nearer. Easy to sit back as you know the truth. MOAS equals inevitable. And we see, of course, in the top figures down here, come down a bit further, we're looking at AMC, and you can see that kind of contrast between the low sells, high buys. Now, to break this one down a little bit further, it's not as plain as it seems. So yeah, whilst the sell orders are clearly a lot lower than the buy orders, it's also important to consider the size of the orders. For instance, if everybody's buying one share and everybody on this side is selling 20 shares, yes, the price should still be going down, but realistically, in my opinion, I personally believe that these figures are quite honest. I do believe they do reflect where the share price should be, but I do also think it is to do a lot with what is going on with the manipulation. Now, you guys may have a different opinion, but that's just what I believe. So this has been a relatively long video compared to what we normally make, but we did need to cover a lot of this stuff because the past week has been quite depressing. Now, more AMC content coming at you hopefully through the rest of the day, definitely through the rest of the week, and we will have a lot to speak about, so hopefully you did enjoy. Again, if you can share this one, please do. But for now, it's a goodbye, and I'll see you all later. So thank you for watching through till the end, but let me tell you about our Discord. So on your screen you will be seeing the N2S Finance Discord. Obviously it is split into multiple sections. Basically at the top we have updates from me and all that kind of good stuff. If you scroll down a bit further we have the main sections where we focus on cryptos, SPACs and other hot stocks including penny stocks, even stable growth stocks as well, and we even have a special AMC GME chat. If you scroll down you can see some research and DD from the community. We also have funny memes and you can see actual contributions from members down here. And again, if you do join us, it is completely free, link is down below. But if you do want to become a Patreon, you will actually get a pink sticker which will be displayed on your name. So your name will come up in pink as mine comes up in red down here, and that will show that you are a Patreon. But other than that, guys, you can join completely for free down below. You do not have to pay anything if you do not want to. Thank you for watching, see you soon.